Hi, it's Caitlin and I'm here with another new release from Bee's Knees Lacquer. Bee's Knees Lacquer came back last month after a bit of a hiatus, but they're back with another collection for October, which will be launching on their website on October 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this will be a pre-order that will run through October 22nd at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There are some stipulations and details around the release and how many bottles of each color you can purchase for a certain period of time. I will include that down in the description. There will be no mystery bags this time around, but we have a beautiful 10-piece collection inspired by the book called Hellbent. If anyone's interested in picking up the full collection, you will be able to do that this time around. There will be a limited amount of full collections available at a discounted price. And it's exciting because this collection features some new to Bee's Knees Lacquer formulas. I personally am in love with this new formula. Anything else you need to know will be in the description, and I guess it's just time to swatch. Let's start with what appear to me as new-ish formulas for Bee's Knees Lacquer. First up, we have His Monstrous Queen, and this one is an icy lavender polish with pale gold to green shimmer. This one is so beautiful and interesting if you are a fan of like dainty, delicate nail polishes, then this one will probably excite you as much as it excited me. First of all, anything lavender, need it, want it, love it. Secondly, I love these tiny little, almost platinum looking flakes. Like there's no mention of platinum flakes, but I swear they're in there. Maybe that's the shimmer, I don't know, but it's just such an interesting finish, and depending on how you apply it, you could leave it in 2. I wanted to show it in 3. This is a really cool polish because it is firstly cool toned, literally, but secondly, it's got an almost metallic finish, but not quite. It's so flattering, so interesting, so pretty, and so unique. So here it is in 3 coats plus the Bee's Knees Lacquer I'm Fast Quick Dry Top Coat, or maybe it's I'm Very Fast. That's what I'm using in all my swatches. And here you can see that green shimmer at more extreme angles, but when you get your nails out of direct light, you get an almost silver look, which is just beautiful in my opinion. It's so like frosty and icy. It's just perfection. I really, really love this polish. And I was able to catch it in the sun where it definitely looks more lavender. And again, obsessed. Next up we have His Gentle Ruler, which this collection is based on a book, and these 2 polishes I feel like are kind of a pair, and it just seems sexual. So this one is His Gentle Ruler, and it is a berry polish with silver to green to blue shimmer. And this one has like those similar little silver platinum-y bits in it, like His Monstrous Queen. This is such a beautiful base color. I am just in love with anything berry toned, really. And this has a fantastic formula. You could probably get away with it in 2 coats, but I am going to do sort of 3 coats. Also, apologies for the squeaking. That's my chair. I thought my index finger needed another coat, so I added. And this finish, along with His Monstrous Queen, dries down a little bit dull, so definitely use top coat to bring back the shine. And oh my goodness, I love this one so much. I don't know if I can pick a favorite between the 2. I love them both. And I hope we see more polishes like this from Bee's Knees Lacquer because I love those tiny little, I'm going to call them platinum flakes. Anyway, The shift that's described is not super, super, super obvious, but it is there. It's definitely on the more subtle side. I guess I'm just used to the really intense shimmers we've been seeing from indie nail polish brands lately, but I do really like the subtle impact of the shimmer in this polish and the previous one. Very, very pretty and super interesting. Here we are moving into some shimmers. This one is called Reckless, and Reckless is a grayed out navy with a strong red to gold shimmer. So while it is described as a grayed out navy, it definitely comes off as a purple with all the elements together. And this one starts out sheer, but it does build up really nicely, and it has that sort of creamy shimmer look to it versus a jelly. And I love the formula. I really like how this one built up. It's very even, very smooth, and it ends up creating a really pretty look when you build it up. So I will suggest building it up in 3 coats. And if you like red shimmer, then you're going to like this one. This has got that strong red to gold shimmer, which I think a lot of people like. And again, it dries down quite shiny, but I'm still going to use and recommend a glossy top coat. This is the Bee's Knees Lacquer I'm Very Fast Quick Dry Top Coat. And here it is in 3 coats with the top coat. And you can see the gold, you can definitely see the red, and at extreme angles I can see the description of the navy. But like I said, overall it appears pretty much like a purple, at least on my skin tone. It looks beautiful in direct lighting, out of direct lighting, in obscured lighting. I had to get my hand behind the blinds to show it off in the sun, but I really like this one in the sun. Next up is A Talent for Misfortune, and this one is described as a grungy mauve with cerulean to purple shimmer. And I just like saying the word cerulean, and I really do like that shimmer in this polish. So this one is really pretty. This one's a little more of a jelly-ish shimmer compared to Reckless, and you can probably build it up depending on your preference in 2 coats or 3 coats. I will show 3, but the shimmer in this one is really, really strong, so it will obscure your nail line if you wanted to leave it in 2 coats. And wow, the shimmer is really intense, as you're going to see, and you can probably already tell. This one dries quickly between coats, and it's, again, I think I'm going to sound like a broken record because I always talk about how much I like blue shimmer, but I just think it's flattering on my skin tone, and I love it in this mauvey base. So it does dry down just a tiny bit dull, so use top coat. I always recommend top coat. And this will not be difficult to remove. Really, none of the polishes are difficult to remove, but if I could backtrack for a second, the smutty duo at the beginning of the video, those little tiny platinum flakes do kind of get on your skin when you're removing your polish, but it's not like a glitter, it's just they get in your cuticle a little bit, so you might need to wash your hands after you remove the polish. But this one, super easy to remove, very strong cerulean shimmer, which I love. It looks so pretty in the sun. As you can see, it's just luminous, beautiful, vibrant, kind of electric looking, and it works really, really well in this base. So another beautiful polish that I love. Now we have Let's Give Them Hell, and Let's Give Them Hell is described as a red clay with silver to green to blue shimmer. This one is really pretty. I do have a comparison to a polish from last month's collection, which I kind of thought was the same, but it's not really, so you'll see that after my swatches of this polish. But we're talking about the new collection and this one right now. It is so pretty. The clay is kind of like a burnt sienna reddy orange shade, which is really unique and beautiful. And the shimmer in this one is also very unique and beautiful. I really like it. I think it's that new, it must be a new shimmer that Sarah's trying out that shifts from silver, what is it? Silver to green to blue. It looks like that's the same shimmer as in his Gentle Ruler. Looks totally different in this polish, of course, and it does dry down a tiny bit dull. Use top coat. This is just a really pretty polish that I also couldn't get enough of. I don't know how I'm going to pick a favorite from this collection. I don't have to. It's my video. Maybe I won't, because I do really like them all. And as you can see, this is sort of a really interesting base color. It almost looks pinky, purpley magenta at extreme angles. I don't know how Sarah does it, but she just comes up with these really interesting, totally mind-blowing polishes that I love showing off. So it really is a privilege to show off these polishes, and this one is absolutely gorgeous. I love it here in the sun. It's just perfection. And here is Let's Give Them Hell beside To Teach Us About Our Past. In the bottle, they looked slightly similar, at least in remembering that polish. And I know I get a lot of comments about comparisons, so I will try to do comparisons where I thought there was a similarity, and turns out I was wrong. Maybe I was the only one who would have thought these would be close. They're not. So if you own To Teach Us About Our Past, you can buy Let's Give Them Hell without any guilt, because they are very different polishes, beautiful in their own right. Next up we have I Have Been Crying Out to You from the Start, and this one is described as a squishy shamrock green with glowy blue shimmer. This one is definitely on the sheer side. You're definitely going to want to build this up, potentially layer it if that is your thing, but it builds up very, very easily. Definitely a 3-coat contender. Some people might want to wear it in 2 if you like sort of that really grungy look, which is totally doable. But if you build it up in 3, you get just a more intense green effect, which you'll see because I did build it up in 3. And again, fantastic formula. So while it is sheer, it does build up easily. No issues with dry time, no issues with the polish dragging. And obviously removal with a polish like this will be very easy. And if you're new to my channel or new to Bee's Knees Lacquer, they have a fantastic brush. It is really high quality, I would say. It's a paddle brush, but it's nice and thin, so it really helps you apply your polish effortlessly. So here it is in 3 coats plus top coat, and this is a really interesting, I was going to call it ghostly, but it's not really, by my own personal definition that I created. This one's really interesting. I don't know why I want to say something about like urine, but I think it's like stain. I don't know how to describe it, but there's something about this polish that just reminds me of like grunginess and someone peeing in an alleyway, but like in a really cool punk rock way. And here are some comparisons because I thought that Crying Out was going to look like Ghost or Grandma from the Polish Pickup September 2022. It doesn't. It looks similar in the bottle, but it doesn't on the nail. And then there's another one, Pretend You Like Me. I also thought it was similar, but again, not really similar. All very different and beautiful in their own special way. Here we have Give It Back Tenfold, and this one is a smoky plum with strong indigo to purple shimmer. I love this polish. I knew I would when I saw it in the bottle, and I just absolutely love the base color in this polish. It, when you build it up, almost has like a pastel look to it. It's kind of hard to describe, but hopefully my swatches will do it justice. And of course, it has a super intense blue to indigo shimmer, which I love. I love this combination. I love the electric, vibrant effect that you get from that kind of shimmer, and I think it works beautifully against this base color. The formula is very easy to work with. What can I say? This polish is perfection. I love purples. I love Bee's Knees lacquer purples in particular, and this one is fantastic. So I did build it up in 3 coats, and I'm sure most people would need it in 3. You might get away with 2, but to get it closer to what you see in the bottle, you'll probably need 3 coats. And of course, top coat is a nice little bonus to make it as glossy and shiny as possible. And here you can see how electric and vibrant the shimmer is in this one. It is so pretty. I'm trying to think right now. I'm kind of being reminded of Apology Donuts. I'll pop in a little side by side for anyone who's curious how this compares, but I'm gonna say they're quite different overall. I thought it would be worth doing a comparison of A Talent for Misfortune and Apology Donuts and Give It Back Tenfold, because it turns out A Talent for Misfortune is slightly more similar to Apology Donuts than Give It Back Tenfold, but you can see here that A Talent for Misfortune has blue shimmer. Apology Donuts has what I would describe as a lighter base and purple shimmer, so there's less of a contrast. And then Give It Back Tenfold's kind of just the odd one out. It's much deeper. The shimmer is much more blue. And yeah, they're all pretty different in my books. Here we have A Terrible Price, and this one is a light olive green with glowy emerald to blue shimmer. And this one is so fun and glowy. I really hope I do this justice because this is one of those polishes that looks like it's glowing off your nails. It's just fantastic. If you like greens, you quote unquote need this polish. Obviously, use your own judgment. I didn't think people took me seriously when I said that. But this polish is a green lover's dream. Just putting that out there. And I love the way this one applies. It has the shimmer particle size makes it kind of really interesting. It gives it a slightly foily metallic-y look, but not in a bad way. So if foil or metallic is a bad word for you, that's not how I'm meaning it. It's absolutely stunning. I would recommend top coat. It just kind of helps everything integrate a little bit better, if that makes sense. And hopefully you can already tell how beautiful and glowy this polish is. It's really interesting at more extreme angles. You get almost a blue turquoise aqua, and then you get more of like a clover green. And in the sun, the shimmer particle size catches the light really beautifully, so it's kind of sparkly. It's just really pretty, very shifty, and I particularly love it here out of direct light. It just glows like it's lit from within, and I love that. Moving along, we have Immutable, and Immutable is a smoky eggplant with red to green microflake shimmer. So this polish is so pretty and unique. When I saw it in the bottle, I was like, holy crap, Bee's Knees Lacquer is trying out new stuff, and I'm 100% here for it. So this polish is incredible in the bottle. It's different on the nail than what I was expecting when I saw it in the bottle. Not in a bad way, just it looks very different on the nail than it does in the bottle. And this one you definitely want to build up. I'm going to say most people will need 3 coats, even though the information I received from Bee's Knees Lacquer says it's opaque in 2. If you apply thicker coats, you might get away with 2, but I think most people are going to need 3. And the flakes in this polish are super, super shifty. It's just this gorgeous microflake that picks up the light absolutely beautifully. And also, it's appearing more red than eggplant. Maybe very, very fresh eggplant, but most eggplant that I see and eat is like a deep purple, whereas this is a very reddened purple. It's color accurate to what my eyes saw with my skin tone, so do with that what you will. And you really get the color shift of the flake at extreme angles here. You definitely see the green. It's really pretty. It's very fallish, very seasonally appropriate. And I was just really entertained by this one in particular. So super love it in the bottle, super love it on the nail. And I don't know if that's just a me thing, but sometimes I just love looking at nail polishes in their bottles. I just go into my nail polish drawer and I just pull them out and look at them. So that was a weird confession, but this looks really pretty out in the sun. Those flakes are super shifty. What more can I say? And last but not least, I Went to Hell for You, and this one is an olive green base with extra sparkly orange to green shimmer. And this one has a sheer formula, but it builds up very nicely in 3 coats. Sarah does note here that this is similar to I'm the only leftover from HHC. She actually says if customers got it, they might want to skip this polish, but I don't know. I've got a comparison and honestly they're quite different, so that might be bad news for you because I'm not going to help you save money. I'm going to convince you that they're actually pretty different. So I will show that comparison, and this polish is so pretty. I love this shimmer that we sometimes get from Bee's Knees Lacquer. It works so beautifully in this base. The formula is really nice. It's kind of squishy and it builds up very well in 3 coats. It dries down very shiny as well, but you know, just throw some top coat on there, do me proud. And yeah, this is a really pretty polish. I think if you like reds or oranges or browns, this is definitely something to consider adding to your collection. And here it is. I'm moving my fingers around, different lighting. It's just got that like grungy vibe to it. So maybe if you were disappointed with the polish pickup offerings for the grunge theme, which had a lot of comments where people were expecting differently, I guess, for the theme, to me, this polish and a lot of the other ones in the collection are giving grunge. So I love this one. It is very, very shifty and it looks fantastic in any kind of lighting. It's really pretty out in the sun, and I am hoping I have time to wear this fall because I would love to have this on my fingertips. And here is I Went to Hell for You on the left with I'm the Only Leftover on the right. As you can see, I'm the Only Leftover is a bit more green. The shimmer appears slightly more orange in comparison to I Went to Hell for You, which is definitely more red. So again, do with this information what you will. I sincerely hope people don't think I expect you to buy things when I say you should. And of course, in this case, they are pretty close. But if you love this kind of polish and this finish, they're not dupes. I loved so many of those polishes and I loved all of them, but if I have to be super critical and pick my top two for anyone who, you know, can only pick a few and really trust my opinion, I definitely think you should pick up his Monstrous Queen because I like that new formula and it would be fun to try it. I also just think it's really pretty, and I just love those little tiny platinum flakes, as I'm calling them. And I also very much love Let's Give Them Hell. It's just really pretty. I like the shifts in it and love the base color, so I hope to be able to wear that again soon. So that's it for me for this video. Let me know in the comments if you're planning on picking up anything from this collection. I guess that's it. Hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!